Good morning, everyone. I wanted to welcome you to the 5-day detox. And anyhow, I wanted to start this morning with a welcome and give you our encouraging word for the day. So every day I'm going to have an encouraging word for you. And oh yeah, by the way, can you see the snow outside? Thought I would share that with you this morning. Yeah, we got a little bit of snow, not a lot. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you a little bit. Just because, we've been having the crazy weather this year as we do the detox. But I wanted to share your encouraging word for today. So during this week, our focus is going to be on positivity. And I want to start each day with an encouraging word. And so here's your encouraging word from the desk of your coach. Today's encouraging words are here we go, because here we go. We're ready to go with our first detox of the year, and hopefully you had a chance to do some shopping and you've done some prep work, so you're ready to go, ready to be on task today with your first day of the detox. So hopefully you've taken some time to do that prep work that I was telling you about. Some of you may have spent a little extra time at the grocery store reading some labels. And remember, when we're reading labels and we're looking for healthy food, even at a health food store, because not everything at a health food store is healthy for you, you need to look at the ingredients list, and we want to look at those ingredients and see what those first 5 or 6 ingredients are and how many ingredients are in there, and can we pronounce the name of all the ingredients inside. So that's real important when you went shopping, hopefully this past weekend. Anyhow, so as you were making your things, I hope that you or prepping for the week, I hope you put together that lovely muesli. It's just wonderful to be able to grab that and put it into a bowl, a third cup, remember, with fruit. And, if you want to throw some extra walnuts or pecans in there, go for it. Anything like that would be fine to add to that muesli. You're not gonna ruin it. It's not gonna upset what happens during the week. But the nice thing about that muesli is it is a wonderful grab and go kind of breakfast, and especially for those of you who are still working. So take advantage of that. You can also switch it in so you don't have to make the other alternative breakfasts on the days that are listed. You can plan it the way you want. I mean, if you want to have muesli every morning, go for it. I usually do Monday through Friday, and then I change it up on the weekend. So you can do the same. The other thing is realize that coconut yam soup is for lunch this week or today on Monday. So hopefully that's another one of those things. If you're not going to be home during lunchtime, maybe you went ahead and made that. If this kind of caught you off guard because you didn't have time to review your, what it was that we were having to eat today, I would just recommend getting a can of soup. I like Amy's brand organic soups. Just get a can of soup. Have some soup for lunch. It's winter. It's nice to have something nice and warm for lunch. So grab that can of soup and have some soup for lunch. Um, the other thing is, I just wanted to remind you is that if you did make that yam soup, hopefully you put it into a canning jar, because canning jars are meant to store foods, and they seal. And especially if that canning jar, I usually just run it underneath hot water. It doesn't necessarily have to be boiling. Most of us have our temperature set on our hot water heater pretty high, so you can just run it under hot water until the jar is hot. Put your hot soup in there, put the lid on, and when you do that, it should seal. You should hear, do that little ping as it seals down on the jar as it cools. So I recommend that you do that. If you're working during the week and you'd like more help with, how to meal prep so that you can do more things on a grab and go kind of basis, send me a text in our group text and let me know. And that reminds me, I do want to share with everyone that for this particular detox, our the Facebook group just wasn't working well. So I would like to just say, hey, um, everybody, let's just do just communicate via that text message group. And we should be good. I mean, all four of you, I have all your numbers, and we should be okay to just kind of use that as our own little private group. If you need to send me a message personally, please do so. Uh, you can just my phone number and one-on-one if you don't want the whole group to know your question or what have you. But we are here to support one another, so you never know, your question might be someone else's question too. All right, so during the week, again, we want to think positively, and we want to remember our encouraging word for the day. So here we go. We're gonna get going, and we're gonna do this, right? Today's Monday, and this is gonna be a great Monday because it's the first day of our detox. So I really want to encourage you to just have a positive day today, and just to remember, yes, here we go. And the thing about a helpful thought or these positive um, uh, encouraging words is, if it doesn't seem encouraging to you, then I understand, you can maybe do something else. But my idea is to try to provide you with something that's encouraging for the day. And maybe you want to write it down and just say, here we go, here I go, I can do this, and we're out to get this done. So I believe in you. I know you can do this. And so here we go. All right, let's take a look at our schedule for today and just kind of see what's happening. I'm just going to go over it briefly. So I'm going to start with the rise in the morning. Whenever you get out of bed, that should be great. I'm assuming it's sometime between 7 and 8, unless you're working, and then you're probably getting up much earlier. But we want to start our day with a little bit of journaling. And I may have explained this before, before you get going, maybe get maybe awake, and maybe you're not out of bed yet. Have a journal next to the bed that you can just kind of write down your thoughts for the day and where you're going, and kind of how you feel about the day. Make a list of things that you're grateful for as you rise, and then I would encourage you to have a glass of lemon water. And I think I may have explained that before. It's basically a couple of tablespoons of lemon in warm water, and you just have that at the beginning of the day. It's a great way to just kind of jumpstart your metabolism and get things going in the morning. If you don't have lemons, maybe you forgot to get some at the store, or they weren't on your shopping list. I also recommend you can also use doTERRA's lemon essential oil. And you're just going to put 2 drops in an 8-ounce glass of water. All right, so you've had your water, and then notice that the next thing on the schedule is exercise. And that's because really, ideally, you want to exercise in the morning. And I find that it's most effective to exercise prior to having breakfast. Now, the other thing I want to let you know is that exercise does not help you lose weight necessarily. You don't have to exercise to lose weight, but there is a good reason to do a moderate workout. And that reason is balance and strength and flexibility. And so we want to do exercises that allow us to stay mobile and flexible, to, when we kind of lose our footing, that we're still in balance, especially if you live up here in the mountains and we're sitting here on skating around on our ice and snow up here. So we really have a test of our balance on a regular basis. So that's why we're exercising. Working out harder, or if you work out and the next day you're feeling really sore, you're probably going to find and see the scale actually go up. Okay, you're going to gain weight. So I want you to be really sensitive to the fact that when you exercise, it's moderate. And so I usually say limit it to 30 minutes. Many of the Paula B and even I think the one that I listed for you, the yoga one from Kat Meff and the early morning stretch, is only 15 minutes. But those 15 minutes, those 30 minutes of workout can be enough. And the thing I really like about doing like a Paula B or even a walk around the block, is that it really gets your positive endorphins going, and you really feel a lot more like, yeah, I'm ready for the day, and the smile to your face, and you are ready for the day. And so we want to do that in the morning before we have breakfast if we can. I want to try to push that breakfast time towards 9 or 10 o'clock. And I mentioned before on Saturday morning when we had our meetup that, you know, when I'm going out and have to go to work for the day away from home, I take my breakfast with me so that at morning break, I can have breakfast. And that usually works just fine. Even if you are diabetic, you can still do the intermittent fasting. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about intermittent fasting tomorrow. The next thing is breakfast. And of course, our breakfast this morning is that muesli. So, see, it's a good thing that you put that together yesterday. Lunchtime today is the soup, as I mentioned. And like I said, just go ahead and grab a can of soup if you didn't make it ahead of time and that kind of snuck up on you. And I just want to remind you to have your meals seated. And again, when we're having our meal, to eat mindfully. Take a bite. You don't necessarily have to put the spoon down, but take a bite or take a sip or have a little bit of soup and then enjoy it. Experience the flavors in it. It really actually makes things taste better. In the afternoon, if you didn't have time or you didn't feel like you wanted to exercise in the morning, in the afternoon, you can exercise as well. You may even want to take a walk. I mean, okay, so you exercised in the morning. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't exercise the rest of the day, but take a little 5 minute, 10 minute walk. Um, Maybe it's just down to your mailbox, depends on how far away your mailbox is. Down to the mailbox, take the dog for a walk, whatever it is that you like to do. But some kind of movement and activity in the afternoon would be good. It is optional. So if you're working, that's optional. But I would mention this: if you are working a desk job, please make sure that you get up and go get a drink, go to the restroom, whatever, about every hour. You really don't want to sit longer than, I mean, the maximum they say is 2 hours, but even that's too long. It really isn't good for your muscle structure and your joints. You really do want to get up, take a walk, even if it's just for 3 minutes, 3 minutes to the water cooler and back, or 3 minutes to the snack shack, or whatever you have it at work. Dinner tonight, let's see, what's dinner tonight is the arugula. I think it's chicken and arugula. Didn't bring my recipe. I didn't bring my little thing over here with me to the screen. Anyway, so we have a dinner scheduled for tonight. It's gonna make leftovers. So again, that can be put in as a lunch during the week. So you're welcome to do that. You do not have to stick strictly to the schedule. We'll talk about it that way, but it may be that it didn't work for you to have the schedule the way it was. You needed to use that leftover for lunch the next day, and that's perfectly okay. Make the schedule work. Tonight, our nighttime routine tonight. So the thing about sleep and getting good sleep, because that's one of the biggest comments I hear, especially from women in the pause, is that sleep just isn't as enjoyable as it used to be, and I don't get enough of it, and I'm up during the night, and so I'm tired the next morning, or I don't have enough energy to carry me through the day. And I want to just kind of talk to you briefly about setting a nighttime routine. And your evening routine starts an hour before you plan to be in bed. And make that going to bed being, bedtime is for sleep. Getting into bed is not for necessarily for doing your reading or watching television or. And some of you may go, oh, but the TV's in our room and da da da. I'm gonna tell you, whether you believe it or not, when you watch television, when you're on your phone, when you are exposed to those electronics, cortisol is being produced by your adrenal glands. And that means you're not getting ready for sleep. You want cortisol levels to be going down at night so that you can get a good restful sleep. Because if cortisol levels are up or are staying up, maybe you had some stress at work and then you came home and you were stressed because dinner was late getting on the table or whatever, and then you watch television and then you watch and you go, yeah, but I fall asleep. You do. But if I were to do this, a sleep test with you, you really aren't getting the deep sleep that you need, the healing sleep that you need, if you're falling asleep to the television. So I would just encourage you. It's just 5 days. Put your program on hold or watch it earlier. That's what I recommend. Is just watch it earlier, and don't watch TV. Now, there's a difference between watching TV and maybe having um, that meditative music, or sometimes there's like ocean sound or white noise. That's different, and you want to but you do want to make sure that you've put that noise or that electronic device away from you, especially away from your head. And so, because there is electrons are microscopic and you can't see them, and they are being transmitted. So put stuff away. During that hour is a good time to have your tea. You can have peppermint tea, sleepy tea, lavender tea, chamomile tea. It just kind of depends on what you like, and what kind of makes you feel sleepy. I've often heard clients say, I didn't even make it through my cup of tea and I was falling asleep in my chair. So I figured it was time to go to bed. And so, yeah, that's the idea. Let's get it to just kind of drop down a notch. Tonight, the stress release activity is going to be enjoying that cup of tea while you're reading a book, a magazine, or journaling about your day. So read a book tonight. And if having tea causes you to have to get up more than you'd like during the night, and I don't think you need to get up at all, but some of us, our bladders say they do need to get up, and that's fine. So I would just recommend that you try to have your cup of tea before 8 o'clock. And then that way you'll be ready to crawl into bed, lights out at 10. So let's see if we can do that tonight. And the other thing is tonight, before you go to bed, we're going to treat ourselves to something special because this is our detox week and we get to pamper ourselves a little bit. We're going to take lavender, or if you have the doTERRA Serenity, that works also. And you can put lavender here on the palm of both of your hands and on the bottoms of both of your feet before or as you climb into bed tonight. And you might even want to put, if you have a diffuser in your bedroom, put a couple of drops of lavender. I like to do lavender and orange, wild orange, lavender and wild orange with a couple drops of peppermint, or breathe if I'm having, if I need that extra, you know, opening of the sinuses, I might use some breathe. The other thing I want to recommend, because this is cold and flu season, if you're finding that you're getting a cold or you think you might be getting a cold, diffusing eucalyptus oil, 10 drops of eucalyptus oil, and about oregano, you have to be kind of careful because it can be really overpowering, but oregano essential oil is very antiviral and antibacterial. And so I also add probably 3 to 4 drops to 10 drops of eucalyptus oil. You can put them in a diffuser. You can put them in a pot of hot water and put a towel over your head and sit and just enjoy smelling the oils, however that works for you. If you're interested in any doTERRA products and you are not a member of doTERRA yet, please let me know and I'll be glad to get you hooked up online. It doesn't mean that you have to become a salesperson or that you have to get a shipment every month or anything like that. I can get you hooked up. We've got some new programs and plans, and would be more than happy to help you get quality essential oils and how to use them in your life. Okay, I think that's about it. If there are any questions, things you don't understand, or something that happened that you're not sure about, shoot me a text. I usually get back relatively quick on my text messages. And what's our encouraging word for the day? Here we go. That's right. Let's get out there and have a positive day today. And make a difference as you work towards your great start to a new you. All right. Talk to you tomorrow.